Good morning, Phil. Good morning, Julie. All right, good morning, traders. Today is August 8th, 2023. My name is John Kerrigan, and I moderate the BYOB trading room. My SPY pivot this morning, 449.69. Let's see how we got that. Okay, so I'm going to come into the 10-minute chart. And you can see price gaps up to 449.69. Trades down, makes a higher low, and continues to trade up toward the top channel line. How did I get this channel line? Just take this, connect the top there and the top there, and you can see where price trades back up to the top of that channel line right there. So this is the price. You can see everything trades around 449.69. That's the market's way of telling us that's an important number to them. So let's look at the SPY on the daily chart. So here we are on the daily chart. Here's our uptrend line. Still got a ways to go before we break it. We have another uptrend line, which the SPY seems to be testing. And as you can see, we kind of get that rubber band effect right through here. We'll see if they're going to break the rubber band and head to the lower uptrend line back here. Now, the market does need a little bit of a rest. We still have not challenged. Well, we've come close to challenging minor support here on the daily chart. You can see minor support does not exist until we get down to 444.15 area and maybe a little bit lower, maybe 443. That's what we're looking for in the SPY as a pullback. And if we look at it on the hourly time frame, you can see we have a series of lower highs and lower lows. So we are still in a daily uptrend, but we are in hourly pullbacks or an hourly downtrend within that daily uptrend. And we could break this uptrend line, and we still have one more remaining, a longer term. Now this trend line starts all the way back in March. So we'll see how that fares this morning, if they're going to get down that far. Now you can see the markets are gapping lower, testing the lows of Friday right here. And we'll see if they're going to bounce it or if they are going to bear flag and then move lower. So here's my downtrend line for the hourly. And let's just go ahead and create a parallel line and see where that drops in. And that would be our lower channel line. As you can see, that it's got a ways to go if we trade down there today. And let me extend that to the right. So we could trade all the way down to a position of 443.37 sometime today or tomorrow and still remain in the uptrend. So there's the SPY hourly pullback, or actually hourly downtrend in our daily uptrend. Good morning, CJ. So we'll see what happens there. I have a lot of bear call credit spreads I put on yesterday as we approach this downtrend line, this downtrend channel line. And it's going to be looking good for me in the morning right here with the SPY bear call credit spreads. So we'll see what happens. I took a few puts while I was up there. So there's the SPY hourly downtrend in our daily uptrend. Now let's take a look at QQQ. Actually, let's just go to the QQQ right here. Daily. Okay, so here's our daily chart of the QQQ. That's the 7th. That's our trading action for today, yesterday, and this is for today. All right, so QQQ turning the trend indicator red. Still unable to break through this 370.55 area, kind of testing the minor support which exists right on top of these two peaks up here. And you notice we came through the M pattern right here. We're trying to break through this M pattern right here. This is the battleground. Now, the victor will wind up emerging on the other side of the battle. So box in the battle, and then once you see who comes out on the other side of the box, that will be your victor. This is the QQQ, also in an hourly downtrend. Now the QQQ in a daily, starting a daily downtrend with a slightly higher low here. So we're starting a daily downtrend, but in the bigger time frame, we're still maintaining our daily uptrend. If we draw a line through here and just connect these points through there, you can see we've got a ways, almost a month before we start to run into this uptrend line. So we're getting that pullback, actually that bull flag look across the top on the QQQ. Probably could start a channel line for the lower one and probably slide that in there and see how far that goes. So there's the QQQ, hourly downtrend in a daily uptrend. 17 EMA is being challenged and broken. Well, it's being stretched at this time. Let's see if the rubber band effect happens to sling it back up to the top side. This will be our second time, third time. So they've challenged this area 1, 2, 3. This will be the fourth time they challenge this area right here at 370.55 in the Qs. Hourly downtrend, daily uptrend on the QQQ. Now let's go look at FNGU. And here's FNGU. FNGU putting in a head and shoulders type pattern here. You can see the left shoulder wrapping over the top. Little high here, lower high. Starting a daily downtrend with lower highs and lower lows. On the bigger time frame, we still have some movement before we get to our trend line over here. So this is our longer term trend line that starts back in, well, November, October. And you can see we're underneath it, and now we're trading on top of it. So a pullback to this area would be normal. We'll see where it goes for the FNGU. So we are in a daily downtrend with lower highs and lower lows. Still looking to see if we're going to break this low right here. We have a lower high there and a lower low here. So hourly downtrend and a daily downtrend in FNGU. Now let's take a look at IWM. IWM continues to be bullish on the daily time frame. And you can see the 3 is now underneath the T line. Daily trend indicator still green. You can see we slid down yesterday, hit this crossing of these two trend lines, and then traded back up. So things are being challenged here in our trends for the markets on the indices. IWM trading back down, big tail back up. That's a nice recovery. But still, we've got the 3 underneath the T line right here. The T line would be our 8 EMA, and 3 now crossing underneath it and challenging the 21 period moving average. We can go back and check out the FNGU and see where we are with that one. As you can see, we are underneath. The 3 is now underneath the T line as well on the FNGU. And trend indicators red. Take a look at the QQQ. 3 is now underneath the T line on QQQ. And on SPY, you can see the same thing is happening on the daily chart. 3 is now underneath the T line at this time. So this could be the start of our downtrend. I don't think so yet. I think there's one more move to be made, but we'll see what happens. We're just going to play the trends as they come at us. Now let's go take a look at the diamonds. So here's the diamonds, and let's see if that's the daily. That's yesterday's candle. So here's Friday's sell-off candle right there, and you can see Monday's recovery candle, almost a bullish engulfing there. Darn near taking out the top of that, only missed it by a couple pennies to come all the way back up to here. So now that the idea that they're opening up down here, we have to recognize that there's a possible downtrend existing at the peak here and the peak there. So there is a possible downtrend starting right there. On the daily chart, we're still in a daily uptrend, and I don't think we're even in an hourly downtrend on the diamonds. And let's see what we got here. We have a lower high and a lower low. So we have lower highs and lower lows on the diamonds in the hourly. Hourly downtrend, daily uptrend for the diamonds. Now let's go take a look at the dollar. Here we are with the UUP. And you can't see it, but in the pre-market, you can see this is the sell-off that they had, the pullback, and they are right back challenging the highs from where they fell a couple weeks ago. So this is the dollar falling a couple weeks ago, and now we're trading back up to challenge those that breakdown candle or that breakdown point. This is the point of origin for the sell-off. And now we're challenging the origin of that sell-off again right here. And you can see we're back up there this morning. That's the UUP. Now we'll take a look at the VIX. VIX, this is yesterday's candle. VIX dropping down quite a bit. And I'm sure it will gap up again this morning somewhere, probably in the 17 or 1650 range. So VIX putting in a little high here. Notice we do have a higher high than what we had 3 or 4 weeks ago. All right, 3 or 4 weeks ago, the high was 1711, and we just inked out a higher high, probably about 1741 on the VIX. So volatility starting to show up in the markets here with the VIX-X making a higher high. And now we'll see if they're going to make a higher low. Now let's go take a look at T2122. So here's T2122 making a series of higher lows through here, trying to climb back into the buy zone. Not sure if they're going to get there this morning, but they are making a concerted effort within the last 2 or 3 days, even with that sell-off that we had on Friday. So this would be the sell-off on Friday, making the higher low. And then here's yesterday's trading, making higher lows right through here on T2122 15-minute chart. So they're in a mission to try to climb back into this buy zone. Not quite able to make it yesterday, so some weakness showing up. It's probably just temporary. We'll see what happens. T2123. On the 15-minute chart, we left off with green trend indicators on the 15. And if we look at it on the 3-bar, we're still green. Everything is still bullish on T2123. But price action has closed in on the trend indicator there. So those are the markets this morning. Now let's take a look at economic numbers. International trade goods come out at 8:30. That's about 15 minutes from now. And tomorrow we have a light day. The big day is going to be CPI. It's coming out on Thursday at 8:30, as well as jobless claims. So the big day is going to be Thursday. So as we gap down lower, I would expect a bear flag going into Thursday. Nothing specific as far as a rally. We'll see what happens. We'll watch what they want to do. Earnings calendar. And we'll take a look. Today is Tuesday. Let me make sure. Yep, Tuesday. Earnings calendar. Full list today. Eli Lilly, UPS, Duke Energy. We got about 10 pages of earnings getting reported today. AMC reports after the close. So this should be a pretty volatile day. And of course the VIX is showing us that volatility by gapping up and moving up with all these earnings coming out. Things are gapping up everywhere, gapping down as earnings are released, and we'll see what directions the winners and losers head off into. So there's the earnings calendar, there's the economic calendar, and here's the dollar putting in a nice green 6-hour candle challenging the recent highs right here on the US dollar. Max pain for Friday is going to be 449. It's kind of early to say right now, 449, but only 1.5 puts to the calls. The things are starting to reverse here. We're having less puts show up, and we used to have twice as many puts show up here, and now we've only got 1.5. So things are looking a little bit bearish at this time. And that's it for the market update. And we can take a look at, let's just take a look at some of the other markets. And I'll head off on the daily. And let's take a look at XLF. So here's our financials. Daily chart. Daily putting in a nice candle yesterday, gapping back down. So this could be a start of a downtrend here in the XLF. We'll see if they can get back up to this point that they made yesterday, 35.47. XLF still in a daily uptrend, but showing up a hourly downtrend. So you can see the daily still putting in higher lows and higher highs. And we'll look at the hourly. And if you look at the hourly, we've got lower highs and lower lows. And we've just now started a uptrend in the hourly, so we're trying to break that. So that's probably more like a no. Yeah. So on the 4-bar, we've got a downtrend in the 4-hour chart with lower highs and lower lows. There's the XLF. Now let's take a look at SMH. SMH still in a daily uptrend, challenging the trend indicator here, making a double top at the top and a double bottom. So we'll see which side of this channel they want to break out on. SMH back down, challenging the lows a few days ago. So SMH is challenging the trend indicator right here. And you can see SMH is trading underneath the T line. And if we go back and look at XLF, you'll see that the price action was underneath the T line on Friday, although yesterday we did recover quite a bit of it. And you can see we're right back down there again. So 3 is probably going to be underneath the 8 EMA on the XLF. So there's the XLF. Now let's look at the transports. Transports, as you can see, the price action is underneath the T line. Trend indicator is red. We are starting an hourly downtrend in our daily uptrend. This trend could be broken. We'll see what happens in the transports as we pull back. Notice minor support did not hold here. So now we will begin to test the major support, which exists right about there. This will be the major support area, 255.57 down to 253 right there. Yes, CJ, I set up my quad lines from the top. Yes, I will start from the top as we have these sell-offs, these hourly downtrends, to the bottom of the hourly downtrend to the top of the last peak on those. All right, traders, that's it for the markets. I'll take questions, and I'm going to turn the recorder off.